1940, as the Nazis invaded. My parents met in wartime London in the autumn of 1942 at a party given by Dutch Jewish friends of my mother to celebrate the return from internment of my father's closest friend, who had been interned in Australia as an enemy alien, while my father had been similarly interned in Canada. My parents' marriage on October 21st, 1943, led to my birth on August 16th, 1946, and so to my life as a man brought up and educated in Britain. I've also spent all but 16 years of this life as a Londoner. Without the Second World War and the genocidal anti-Semitism of the Third Reich, my Austrian Jewish father and my Dutch Jewish mother would never have met. I and my brother, born in 1948, are, like many millions of others, children of catastrophe. My parents and their immediate families escaped the wreck. My father's family, his parents, brother, sister, and his brother's wife and daughter, did so by managing, with difficulty, to reach Palestine in 1939. My mother's family did so by reaching an English fishing port on a trawler in May 1940. Their wider families of aunts, uncles, and cousins were murdered, almost to the last individual. My mother's family had been large. Her father, born poor in Amsterdam, was one of 9 siblings. She told me that about 30 of her close relatives died during the Shoah, or Holocaust as it is more usually known. She almost never spoke of this catastrophe, but I was aware that my parents' history was not like that of the other adults I knew, except for my parents' closest friends, who shared similar histories as refugees. Not infrequently, people who read or hear me complain of my pessimism. To this criticism I give 3 responses. The first is that my pessimism has made most of the surprises I have experienced pleasant ones. The second is that my biggest mistakes have come from over-optimism, most recently over the wisdom of finance and the good sense of electorates. The third, and probably most important response, is that my existence is due to the decisions of 2 pessimistic men, my father and my mother's father. My father took the opportunity afforded by the royalties he earned from early successes as a playwright in Vienna to leave for London, on the way, he hoped, to America. My grandfather, who had left school in Amsterdam as a child and became a successful fish merchant in IJmuiden on the coast of North Holland, was not only realistic, but also able to make quick decisions. As soon as the Germans invaded his country, he obtained a trawler and a captain. Being a well-known fish merchant, he presumably found this not too difficult, and invited his relatives to join him and his family. He waited for some hours, but none of them came. In the end, the captain told him they had to go, presumably because of the speed of the German advance. My grandfather's combination of pessimism with quick wits saved his own family, but almost all their relatives perished. Pessimism saved him. Yet these answers, while true, are not the whole story. My family history makes me aware of the fragility of civilization. Any moderately well-informed Jew should know this. But the connection to the Shoah reinforces it. Homo sapiens is prone to orgies of stupidity, brutality, and destruction. Humans naturally separate people into those who belong to their tribe and outsiders. They slaughter the latter gleefully. They have always done so. I have never taken peace, stability, or freedom for granted, and regard those who do as fools. My childhood was, nevertheless, secure. I loved and trusted my parents, and rightly so. Post-war England was shabby. I still remember the bomb sites in the City of London. But the country felt to me stable, peaceful, democratic, and free. The Cold War was a shadow upon us, and at some points, notably the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962, was even terrifying. Yet the world seemed solid as I grew up. My parents died in the 1990s. My mother in 1993, and my father in 1997. The world in which they died was far better than that of their youth and early adulthood. Their belief in a democratic and largely peaceful world seemed vindicated. The totalitarian shadows over Europe had vanished. Democracy was triumphant.